Hello friends and colleagues, my name is Stanislav Chernonog, the author of the online school Vector Massage and Somatics, and today we will continue our wonderful series of videos dedicated to the face. We will talk with you about the basic points with which it is necessary to work on the face in order to bring it into a better condition and remove facial wrinkles. A beautiful face is almost always a healthy body because the points with which we will work are points located on the base meridians of our body. According to the reflexotherapy system, all the meridians of our body go to the face. All organ systems have representations on the face, and the deformation of the face shape almost always corresponds to the deformation of the body systems. And that means that some organs have problems, and as a result, we observe changes in the shape of the face, the formation of creases, loss of tone, and so on. There's a separate topic related to which parts of the skin react to the problems of certain organs. Pimples on the temples, pimples on the chin, pimples along the mouth, all these are signals of various diseases. Follow our channel because we will do a separate video on this topic. And today we will talk about the main points that have an instant cosmetic effect and allow you to noticeably change your face. So here we go. The first point I would like to work with is the attachment point of the muscle that lowers the corners of our lips. It creates a specific crease along the outer edge of the mouth. Here's an overhang and a dimple, and over time it will turn into a specific wrinkle that ages very much and which spoils the contour of our face. This problem is associated with the fact that the muscle that lowers the corner of the lip is excessively tensed. In some cases, this is associated with the emotions that we experience. In some cases, it is associated with excessive tension, for example, of the subcutaneous muscle on the neck. It is important to find this attachment point and work it out. In some cases, we can ask a person to smile several times, and our model will feel how the muscle we are working with relaxes and tightens. Do it a few times. Do you feel it? Here there is a place of tension of the muscle that lowers the corner of the mouth. After we made the movement several times, I don't think it's visible on camera, but from my position I can see that the corner of the mouth has clearly lifted somewhat and the dimple and the hole that appeared here have become smaller. First we'll talk about the base points and the reasons why you need to work with them. At the end we will show you a full session of working with the face and you will see little changes in the face of our model. Please watch to the end to compare before and after. Write in the comments whether we managed to achieve the results that we announced. The second point is the point of which on the chin, the place of attachment of the muscles that lower our lip. And we must understand that in this case we have problems related to the fact that these muscles are overstressed, which leads to the fact that the skin is somewhat wrinkled, which causes the formation of specific small dimples on the chin. In addition, the chin area is associated with the state of the pubic bone, and the pubic bone, in turn, is associated with the state of the genitourinary system. Accordingly, we have not been working on this now. Here we have a distinct soreness due to the condition of the pubic bone. We can say that something in the genitourinary system does not work very well, which affects the condition of the skin on the chin. If you have dissatisfaction with the condition of your chin, touch your pubic bone. If it is painful, we press on it from above and slightly from the inside. And in this case, in order to get progress on the chin, we need, firstly, to work with the chin itself. This will be the movement of plucking, separating the various layers from each other, and it is necessary to work with the attachment points of the muscles that lower the lip along the chin protrusion. The next area in which I would like to work is a group of points along the upper jaw and zygomatic bone and up to the temporal bone. We move along the nose, shift outwards, and find a small dimple and press accordingly on the bump above this dimple. It clearly protrudes. In some cases, it can be quite painful. This is a very useful point from the point of view of working out the maxillary sinuses. This point is very useful if you have chronic rhinitis. This point also helps to clarify consciousness and improve digestion because it lies near the meridian of the stomach. If we look at the skull, here we have bones that we take for the bones of the nose, and there is a small bump under these bones, and we press on this bump. Next, we will move along the upper jaw, moving towards the zygomatic bone. It is important for us to mash this whole line because the muscles that lift your upper lip are attached to these bony protrusions. Accordingly, if these places are painful, then the body cannot lift the upper lip normally. You will have problems with diction, and in addition to this, it will be easier for you to frown. Lower your lips, and it will be more difficult to smile. In addition, the presence of tone in these muscles helps you overcome the presence of a nasolabial fold. Once again, these points are primarily focused on improving breathing. They are very useful from the point of view of facial aesthetics and have a strong reflex effect on the whole body. A point on the chin, a point that drops to the corner of the lip, a point on the forehead, a point on the cheekbones, a zone in the cheekbones. All this is associated with various aspects of the movement of the whole body. If we have problems somewhere along the pubic bone, along the superficial frontal line, there will be problems with the chin. If there are problems with the deep frontal line, then there will be problems with the temples, and there will be problems with the muscles on the side of the face. If there are problems on the superficial back line, then there will be problems on the forehead. The next point I would like to work on is the point at the base of our eyebrows, and in general in the middle of the forehead. If you looked at the face the same way I did, you would see that the texture of the skin in the patch around the bridge of the nose and the base of the eyebrows is very different from the texture of the skin around. This is due to the fact that our model often frowns. Accordingly, in order to wean her body from this involuntary movement, it is important for us that our model realizes the tension, excessive tone in the muscles that make the movement of frowning eyebrows. Again, we have a small dimple at the base of the eyebrow. We press on it, ask our model to furrow her eyebrows. And this is quite painful, so we let go. Find the base of the eyebrows several times. Frown the eyebrows several times. You will see that there are places where there is the greatest soreness. Reduce the level of pressure on these places to feel comfortable and relaxed, and put pressure on this point for 1 to 2 minutes, just statically with a little pressure. It's worth doing on both sides. In some cases, you can do it all at the same time, in some cases separately. Make sure that you succeed, and not to impress someone with how deftly you press with 2 fingers. A good method of influencing this area will also be plucking. We take a pinch between the thumb and index finger, between the side surface of the index finger, and make a small pinch. It is unpleasantly painful, but after a while the pain disappears. These points are located on the meridian of the bladder, respectively. The bladder is the organ that is responsible for the distribution of energy throughout the body. In addition, these points are located on the surface back line and are responsible for the back and forth balance of the body. They are very important for reflex action of the body, very important in terms of the ability to concentrate. If you have difficulty concentrating, then work on this area around the base of the eyebrows. You can also work on the point between the eyebrows. This will also help to remove creases at the base of the eyebrows. I recommend working on the entire area. There are areas at the base. There are points in between the transition between the nasal bones of the frontal. There is a point slightly higher, the point of the third eye. All these are different points of impact, but in order not to dive into details, I recommend that you work through this entire area. For many, the problem is the formation of wrinkles on the forehead. Unfortunately, this is also my problem, and I am very familiar with it. It is important to understand that the frontal muscle raises our eyebrows. We raise our eyebrows in order to get more light. For example, if we tilt our head forward, we will have to raise our eyebrows to get an overview. When we are hunched over, we have to lift our head up and raise our eyebrows. Accordingly, problems with a crease on the forehead, problems with lowering eyebrows that need to be raised, and wrinkled forehead are problems of the spine. We talk about this in great detail in our course Power Lines. In this particular case, wrinkles on the forehead are the result of insufficient tone along the superficial posterior line, in most cases in the thoracic spine. Accordingly, this problem cannot be solved without working with the space between the shoulder blades. In addition, if we are talking about points on the face, then we must find places that raise eyebrows. Let's raise our eyebrows and find that there is a clear place which from the point of the eyebrow is raised. We raise it again, lower it. It is important for us to work out the entire area of the passage of the frontal muscle. Many of you will find the frontal muscle under your fingers. It looks like such a small thickening on the forehead. It's elastic and moves under your fingers. For many people, it is extremely stiff. This is associated with a high level of emotional stress. Working with the frontal muscle will help you relax, calm down. It is useful to work with the frontal muscles to fall asleep. I repeat once again that the condition of the frontal muscles is very much tied to the condition of the superficial posterior line. It is very important to walk along the tendon helmet along the direction connecting the middle of the eyebrow with the occipital protrusions. This is all part of the surface backline. And it is important to work through these structures entirely so that your forehead does not wrinkle. And the next very important points are the points on the masticatory muscles. These are the points that are responsible for the condition of the jaw. These points are responsible for how relaxed and tense our face is. These are the main points in the body in terms of tension. If it is difficult for you to fall asleep, if you are nervous, if you have too much load, too much work and responsibility, then it is extremely necessary to work with the points on the jaw. In addition to the fact that they give general relaxation, in addition to this, they will save your teeth, which are worn off from excessive jaw tension, and will allow the salivary gland to work better and thus allow you to digest food better. And the last point we'll talk about is the point on the jaw joint. This is also a very important point. For many people it hurts, and the problems that are associated with it are either problems with the nasopharynx or problems with the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The fact is that this muscle is extremely important for the condition of the stair muscles, for how well our hands and digestive system are properly supplied with blood, and very often the best way to work with this muscle is to work on the temporomandibular joint. And this point is also easily located and quite painful. After you work, you will feel better, more pleasant, and more comfortable to live. We work with the bases of the eyebrows. You can move skin here a little. We are working on a tendon helmet. Here's a temporal bone. Ear dimple. We go into this dimple under the protrusion of the temporal bone, and here we open our mouth a little, close it, and there, where the dimple forms, this point is located along the jaw. The most medial point on the upper jaw, the more lateral point, the maxillary sinuses, the point of attachment of the masticatory muscle, the the point on the lower jaw, the point on the chin, the places of attachment of the chin muscle, here is a seal and soreness on the one hand. Well, probably the last thing we will do is shifting along the nasal labial. A little painful. At the same time, breathing is generally different. Thank you for watching this video to the end, and be sure to like this video if you enjoyed this format. My name is Stanislav Chernonog, the author and creator of the school Vector Massage and Somatics and the YouTube channel of the same name, a channel where we teach you to be beautiful and healthy and make a career at the same time. See you again, friends, and until next time, take care.